Hello, my name is Curtis Daniels and I'm the Director of Training and Field Operations here at WaterStep. Today we're going to be talking about the mobile water system from WaterStep. This is a self-contained mini water treatment plant. The places that this could be used best is in a disaster situation or possibly emergency management. The unit is completely self-contained. It comes with two bladder tanks. They vary in size depending on what you order. But today what we're going to be using is 500-gallon bladder tanks. And what we're going to do is we're going to show the simplicity of how this deploys. All the parts and pieces, we're going to talk about each one of those. In these bags on top are the actual bladder tanks. They have replaceable liners so that in the event that you have a situation where you rupture a bladder or something happens to the bladder, the whole thing doesn't have to be taken out of line, but it can be easily replaced in the field. Inside are all the parts and pieces, the hoses, the manifolds and so forth, and we'll get to those in a minute. We have a container of more parts and pieces that go along with the chlorine generator, the M100 chlorine generator that's included with this. Down in the bottom compartment down here we have things that may be needed, some hand tools, some nitrile gloves, safety glasses, caution tape, rope, things of that nature. Down on the bottom down here you'll see a tank. This tank and pump are used to move water after the system has been filled up and sanitized. You'll be able to pump water from this location to wherever you'd like to take it. There's also a power source of 12-volt DC, which is what runs the M100 chlorine generator. It has a battery charger and a solar panel, so we can do just about anything out in the field without having to worry about bringing a power source to us. So let's get started with that. Inside these bags, as I mentioned, are the bladders. What we'll do is we'll simply just deploy those right now onto the ground. They come in a zipped up container here. The bladders are all folded up and the liners are already in place. So all you have to do is get them out of the bag and set them up. What we're going to do here is make sure that the opening to the bag is facing the front or the cart area. So we'll get these unfolded. Now these are each 500 gallons. Again, typically what we would use is a tank somewhere around 1,250 or even bigger than that if the case is needed. One of the critical things that we want to do when we place the tanks is that the openings of these need to be approximately 13 feet apart. And we can simply just step that off. But let's deploy the other tank. What we're going to do is make sure that, again, that the tanks are laying out flat. It's a good idea to take a look at the area that the tanks are laying on, make sure that there's no sharp objects, pieces of rubble, things of that nature, just to keep the bottom of the tank from coming in contact with something sharp that may cause an issue with the bladder itself. As I mentioned, they want to be approximately 13 feet apart, but we can make an adjustment as we put it together with the tanks. It's not that critical that you actually measure it out. Within the interior of the system here, we're going to find all of the hoses and manifolds that we're going to need.